Hello, welcome back to Killteam. I'm Jimmy. This is my eldest son, Jeshua.
Hi.
Here to talk today about some Fellgor Ravagers. If you saw the last video, we talked about novitiates and why our teammate Kellen is bringing them. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm bringing the Minotaurs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But definitely not goat people.
They're definitely not goats. Please stop making goat noises at me. It makes me cry. So a little bit about who they are and where they got to here. When they first came out, they were the boogeyman of Killteam. If you think back a little bit, if you can remember those times before Colts, those beautiful days when we were all ignorant of the what was coming at us. Fellgor, when they first came out, caused a tremendous controversy. People were just furious. You can find some, if you look up any videos on Fellgors, it's just people foaming at the mouth and screaming at their screens. Everyone was furious.
Screaming like goats.
Yeah, like minotaurs. They were screaming like minotaurs, which they are, which are half bulls. Just saying. Anyways, so they were hated, and there was two things. They needed to have an FAQ to clarify their interactions with TAC ops, because the way Frenzy was worded, it kind of nullified a lot of the ability to score points on Seek and Destroy TAC ops specifically. And then a couple other protect assets with security. So GW very nicely took like a month to clarify that, and they got back and said, "Oh yeah, you can like score points because it's a game and whatever." Like really quality people. They really just got right on it. So no, they're good. I love GW. If you're watching this GW, which obviously you are, we love you and worship you as the God Emperor that you are. So it's okay. So they clarified that FAQ, and everyone still hated Fellgor. And then a little bit later, another team came out, Colts, which causes all of us great distress, and we all despise it. And I think every Killteam player either played Colts or considered getting out of Killteam because it was so horrible. So that the best melee team that ever meleeed came out. And then also GW was like, hey, we got to deal with Fellgor. They're too strong. So they gave Fellgor a nerf, which, fair, they're strong. And then they gave like a little slap on the wrist to Colts. They're like, naughty. And they're like, no. And give them like the tiniest. They're like, we want to give them time. But also, let's nerf Fellgor. Because anyways, everyone knew Fellgor was the problem. So as soon as that happened, we really stopped seeing Fellgor in the meta. I'm one of 6 people that's going to take him to bats. One of the other guys is Sam. Take him to bats. Take him to LVO. And Sam, who's going to LVO, is with bats. He's been playing Fellgor since the very, very beginning. He never lost hope. He stuck with him the entire time. One of the only people, he's loyal. People hope to find people disloyal in life, and he is loyal to Fellgor. But no one else was. Everyone else just immediately just bailed ship right away when they got their nerf.
And the thing is, their nerf wasn't even all that bad in terms of how they play. The nerf was that they don't count as controlling objectives or anything when they're frenzied, and they can now be removed by shooting if you can strike with critical damage.
Right. And not to get too much into the weeds. So in melee, once they're frenzied, they can be removed by 2 regular strikes or 1 critical strike. And then they added that in frenzy, they can be removed by, if they're shot, being removed by critical damage, not a critical strike. So you can shoot them, and if you get a crit, and they roll their defense dice, and they don't get 2 regular saves or a crit, then they're removed. Now there's one model, super fun, the Death Knell, who at Killteam we call Bing Bong, because that is his name. His name is Bing Bong. He goes Bing Bong. It's great. Anyways, he turns off all crits passively. Doesn't need to do an action. Him, everyone visible within 3 inches, no crits, no critical damage. You cannot shoot him or anyone off near him. So it's a fun little thing that some people find out about during the game. But I'm telling you now. So now you know that Bing Bong can't be shot off the board.
And everyone within 3 inches.
Yep.
You gotta stab them to death.
Yeah. So that was the nerf. And that was a big enough nerf to scare people off. And I really don't think it was that big of a nerf. They were still a strong team. But at the time, they were a strong team who got a nerf. And they did have a weakness, elites. Because if you can beat them in melee on their activation, you just beat them. And
no frenzying occurring win.
Yeah. See, now Colts at the same time didn't have a weakness. No one beat them.
Void Dancers beat them.
Once. I think they got lucky, and I don't even know how that happened. I wasn't there. I think he slipped him money. I think he was like, "Look, I'll give you $20 right now if you fake a heart attack." And I think that's the only reason that was at Atlantic Open, like ACO, Atlantic City Open. Shane won that with Colts, and there was other Colts players there. And I think the only Colts player that lost, that didn't lose in a mirror match, lost to Void Dancers. And like I said, I'm pretty sure he like showed him a picture. He's like, "I know where your mother lives. You got to lose this game." like I don't know, something happened. But Void Dancer did win a match against pre-nerfed Colts, and that just rarely happened though. It was very hard to beat them. But Fellgor, even pre-nerf, had a weakness to elites, and the nerf they got, really, I don't think it changed them, it impacted them, but it wasn't crazy. They were still good, but no one took them. Like at a lot of the big tournaments, we just saw little to no Fellgor, and they got a tiny buff, kind of going halfway in between. So before it was when they were frenzied, they could still fully count as control.
Yep.
And that was hard to deal with. You just throw a couple Minotaurs in the middle of the board, and they perfectly contest central control. Like, you could kill them, and you still just can't get it. They go on a point, you kill them, and you can't loot that point because there's some stupid frenzied Fellgor on it. It was really rough. So they took away that, and that hurts. So they went to the middle. The buff was just meaning the middle. So now when they're frenzied, they're 1 APL. They're not 2, they're not 0, they're 1. Perfect compromise.
But that 1 APL is huge.
I like it. I enjoy it. But the funny thing is, I think I would have taken them to LVO even if they didn't get that buff.
They're still a really good, solid team.
Yeah, they were always good. They were just overshadowed a tiny bit. They're good, and their biggest opponent is coming out in the smallest numbers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in addition to Fellgor's small buff, Castrican got a very noticeable buff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to give them a hard time, but it was a good buff.
It was a decent buff.
I hope I don't hope. I know they'll all die miserably. They're not going to do well. But I like just to give them a hard time because a bunch of bandwagoning assholes. Oh, I don't know if we're supposed to swear on this.
It's fine.
I mean, they're pleasant chaps. I love them. They're good people. So, Castrican's buff, as well as the prevalence of Pathfinders in their buff, and even novitiates that mean a lot of attention, and all three of those teams are hard counters for elites. So, we're seeing elites in the smallest numbers we've ever seen.
Yeah. There are still quite a few of them, but typically it's like in the 30 to 40% range. Right now they're in like the 15% range.
Yeah. About half the numbers we normally see. And last year at LVO, Janice and Adrian both brought intercession and did really well. Both got top 8 at LVO. And so, I mean, these are top players doing well with an elite team. And now Janice is going to be bringing Wormblade, and Adrian is bringing Commandos, the team he has been destroying just all of America with.
The new Colts.
Yeah, he's a terrorist. You're a terrorist, Adrian. Stop destroying America. One tournament at a time.
It's your fault.
Yeah. I blame all of our hardships on you. Just so you know. All right, look forward to seeing you at LVO and your horrible Commandos. So yeah, elites aren't here. They've vanished, or at least they're the smallest numbers ever.
Yeah.
Fellgor was good and got a totally unneeded buff.
Yeah.
They were still good, and that buff helps them when they didn't need help.
Yeah. It makes matchups that were closer not really that close anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it. The matchups that were like borderline, it gives them the edge. And on matchups that they had the edge, it makes it strong. Yeah, big fan. It's almost like when someone throws you a life preserver, but you're not in the ocean. You're just like in a hot tub, and you're like, "Well, I didn't need this."
Free money.
But yeah, like I mean, if you're gonna throw it to me, I'm definitely not gonna drown now. We're fine. I kind of feel like that's what GW did. They're like, "Hey guys, it looks like you're really struggling there." I'm like, "I'm in 2 feet of water, but I'm all right. If you want to give me something, we could do that." But yeah, so the meta shifted. They went from the boogeyman to forgotten to a small buff, and they're still being outshined by commandos.
Mm-hmm.
But they're obviously getting some attention. So there's going to be there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
They're going to be showing up. I'm really excited for where they are currently in the meta. So what makes Fellgor so strong in this current meta? I think the first thing is there's a couple like basic tools that are kind of obvious, but it really helps.
Yeah.
So they're a melee team, and for them to do well, they have to survive turn 1.
Right.
So 2 things they have that are really awesome. They have a super conceal option. So that super conceal can turn off the spotter. It can turn off vantage. It does not turn off grenades. So there is that. But it turns off a lot of the great ways that teams are able to get early strikes on melee teams. So when you have a team like this, the fact that they have this option to help stay safe, it's fantastic. Really good. And then that pairs with the heal. Now, it's the same model, can only do 1 per turn, either the super conceal or the heal, but you're able to pair back, like bounce back and forth as needed. So sometimes you want to, use the heal, and heals 2d3. But if a model has already killed someone this game, like if they've already done their Minotaur Heart's Desire and murdered someone,
Heart's Desire.
It's Minotaur. Anyways, if they've already, like Minotaurs, gotten a kill that they've so eagerly wanted, they automatically heal 6 wounds. So 1 kill during that game, anytime they're healed, or 1 kill, and anytime they're healed, automatic 6 wound recovery. There's nothing else like that in the game. It's fantastic.
Also, they have the strategic ploy where you can retain an extra defense dice for saves.
Yes, also helps a lot. So after they activate, they automatically retain a dice from shooting as a retain.
So you can retain 2 dice for your shooting.
If they have cover, they're double retaining. Like Kroot or Commandos can do it. But no Commando player's ever done that in history of ever because they all pay for sneaky gets 3 times until GW made you stop. They made you stop doing that because you're so obnoxious, Adrian, with your triple sneaky gets. We see you. We know. Yeah,
Terrorist.
We know. Yeah, you're everything that's wrong. No, you're a great guy. I actually, so I played Adrian last year at LVO. He was one of my 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
You should feel terrible about yourself. That was horrible to beat me. It was actually a really fun game. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Despite all the terrorism and all the terrorism jokes are probably not a great thing. Like, it's probably like just thinking out loud now.
It's fine when they're about Adrian.
They're like, hey, do you watch that Killteam channel? They make a lot of terrorist jokes. I'm not sure I'm okay with that. Like, we probably shouldn't. But here we are. We'll see if it makes it in the video. Maybe Kellen sees it and he's just horrified and cuts it out. But you can't stop me. I'm going to keep making terrorist jokes. And at Adrian's expense. So that's what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so the extra, they have all those tools are great at keeping them alive. Everyone knows the obvious stuff. And we talked before about Bing Bong and his turning off crits. Turning off crits, super conceal, heals, extra retains and dice. If you synergize that right, that is strong.
No frenzied Fellgor turn 1.
Yeah. And you just have to acknowledge they have 10 models that all have at least 10 wounds. 3 of them have 11 wounds. And then one of them has a 6-up feel no pain. They have way to turn off crits.
Also, you have call to the attack. So on boards where there's not a lot of cover, you can pick a group of people and they all just dash to cover.
Exactly, yeah. So that dash, you pick one guy, everyone within 2 inches of him gets to do a dash. And that is literally as many people as you want. You could probably fit your entire team. Maybe not. I haven't tried that.
I think you fit like 4 or 5.
I don't. Oh, I fit like 7. You can fit a lot. Yes, you can fit a lot of people. So you put that one guy in the middle, like this is the target, and then you pick as far away. So just like the edge of 2 other models are like the 2-inch ruler barely touches. You can fit a whole other model in between. You can fit a model behind. You can fit models to the side. You can fit so many models.
You're cramming it too much at that point. You're setting up to lose if you try to do that.
Exactly. Like, you've seen those chipmunks that just take all the nuts and they shove them in their cheeks and they, like, yeah, that's what I do with Fellgors for that dash. I just pack them all together and I'm like, you're all going down. Like, that's like Rudy for Notre Dame. Like, send me in, coach. You're all going in. All 8 of you. Go in. Go in. So, that's probably a dated reference. You have no idea who Rudy is?
Nope.
No idea. It's disgusting. I failed as a father. Anyways, so they've got extra movement, really a lot of durability. When you have the protections and the wounds and the bodies, it really helps. They do pretty good. Yeah. So now they do have some weaknesses. So in addition to all those benefits, there's one way to phrase. So you can phrase this one of 2 ways. They're like S tier on In the Dark, or their only weakness is open. So like they are so strong on In the Dark.
It's insane.
Because now, like, all these extra things, like, oh, look at these tools. They got super. You don't need super conceal on In the Dark.
No. Not unless they're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can just throw some guy in the middle and he'll stand around, you know. But even Bing Bong, he can stand in the middle, beat his drum, like, hey guys, what's up? He's probably fine. Bing Bong can give himself a 3-up invuln. That's stupid. With no crits.
3-up invuln?
Yeah, 3-up invuln.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, it's action economy. It's hard to spend an action to do that. Normally he's, like, doing something. Yeah. But, like, he can give himself a 3-up invuln. I do it sometimes. And then no crits and 10 wounds. 3-up invuln. That's the only one in the game. It's stupid. But anyways, on Into the Dark, you don't have to worry about all the crazy stuff. You stay safe. You move forward, and you get to start turn 2 pretty well intact. Unless you do something weird or crazy or stupid. So Into the Dark, they're so strong. So their downside is open. And if you use all the tools we talked about, all the benefits, you can make open work. Like, it's not like...
pretty solidly, too.
Yeah. It's not like you just auto-lose on open or like, oh no, all my guys are getting shot down. You can be good on open, but doing well on open takes a lot of work, a lot of thought, a lot of synergy. And on Into the Dark, I'm pretty sure you can just be drunk and maybe partially asleep. And you'll
you could probably have a heart attack for about 20 minutes and still win the game.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I think as long as you get revived, like, as long as you don't time out, like, so as long as someone, like, helps you
keeps
out.
the clock going.
Yeah, we should probably have fewer heart attack jokes. We're gonna do this, and someone's gonna have a heart attack at LVO, and they'll be like, "You did this. You caused this. You, Jeshua, with your jokes." Okay, so weaknesses. Their weaknesses are still elite teams. Elite teams are tough for them to deal with. If you have an intercessor with 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, and if they take like double parry on with a crit, that's tough. Anyone that can double parry is really hard for Fellgor because none of their guys have more than 4 attacks. They all have 4 attacks, and they all hit on 3s at best. They oftentimes hit on 4s. Even if they have rerolls, they almost never get 4 successes. It's rare. Typically, they get 3 at most. Sometimes they just get 2. Now, oftentimes that's all they need.
Not against double parry.
Not against double parry, yeah. So it's just, it's rough. So you have 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4 or 5 damage, double parry. It's tough. Or the leader with 4, like a power weapon with intercession. That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Elites too. Not elites too. Legionary too.
Legionary, yeah. They got the melee.
Yeah, Legionary makes intercessions melee look,
like
pathetic.
babies. Yeah.
Yeah, like just weak little babies. So those teams are so strong in melee. Fortunately, as we've said, not very many elites. There's still some. There's still a lot. There's still more elites combined than there are even commandos.
I think they're going to be less of a problem, though.
I hope so, but they are a problem. Also, the problem is just vulnerability early on. So you start off, you have no long range shooting.
Yeah.
So with no long range shooting, teams get to deploy aggressively. They get to go full engage. They get to look for every shot they can take. You don't have a way to threaten them back. Commandos are mostly a melee team, but they have a couple of shooting options. And because they have a couple options they can shoot, you can't just deploy fully engaged because you give them too much. Mm-hmm. So that little bit of threat really makes you have to still be cautious. When you have a team that has no downfield shooting, you don't need to position behind terrain cover. You can just go in the open. So your movement's the best it's ever going to be. You can jump up onto a vantage. You don't need to cover. You don't need to be conceal. You can be on engage. No one's going to shoot you on your backfield objective or backfield vantage. So when you have no counter threats back long range, you let people be as aggressive as possible.
Yeah.
So you definitely give them an advantage to start with that.
Yeah.
But so then, you give them a strong advantage, and then you have to do a lot to try to counter all that.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing. It was the second point on the bullet point. So going back, mirror matches. So there's 6 Fellgor at LVO,
mm-hmm.
right? And there's like 500 people. It's like 160, whatever. I exaggerate all the time, even when it just doesn't help.
You exaggerate by like 300%.
Is that real math?
It's close.
I hate that. Anyways, so 6 Fellgor out of a lot of people doesn't seem like a lot, but Dakota hates me apparently, and he just put all of us in the same group. So all the Fellgor, he calls it the goat pen, which hurts my feelings because once again we are minotaurs. We are not goats.
You are centaurs. You are goats.
We are minotaurs.
Centaurs.
We are minotaurs. Centaurs have 4 legs,
and
they are horses. They're not even goats.
You're the goat ones, whatever those are.
I know what they are, and I'm not going to tell you because you're going to use it against me. So you need to read Narnia. Anyway, so do you know what Narnia is?
I know what Narnia is.
Oh, you know Narnia.
I read the first one.
You read?
The first book of Narnia?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's the first one?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
That's not the first one. Okay. That is.
It is the first one.
There's been 2. Okay. I was so eager to get... Okay. The book has been released with 2 different separate orders, and one was chronological, one was a release date. The line that is the right.
Is that the chronological one?
I was so eager to be an obnoxious. Well, actually, I was wrong. So now I will actually myself.
We're kind of diverging here.
We're not. This is actually a Chronicles of Narnia review channel now at this point. So my favorite thing about Aslan. I'm sorry, we'll stop. So, all of us are in the same group, Group B. So, mirror matches are my least favorite thing on the earth. They're terrible.
To be fair, I don't think there's any team that likes the mirror match. No,
I'm saying mirror matches, doesn't matter what team. All mirror matches are horrible.
Yeah, they're not fun.
No, they're terrible. You have the same tools. You had a fun mirror match.
I had a fun mirror match. Gallerpox on Gallerpox Chaos Violence. That was not a fun one.
Yeah. It was just a bunch of, Hulks just in the middle just punching each other.
And then the little men running around scared trying to get the points.
Yeah, it's just running around frantic. And then just big dudes.
And occasionally running in to tickle one of them while they die.
Yeah. It was fun to watch. I was next to him playing a different game, watching this Gellerpox on Gellerpox.
For the record, I won that one.
Yeah. So when you win a game like that, to me, it always feels like the win is initiative rolls and it's all dice rolls.
I did get 2 of the 3 initiatives, so that's that.
See, there you go. I feel like winning the mirror match, it brings you down. If you started off I'm a way better player, And he's like, oh, I'm brand new. It's like, what's a mirror match? It comes now. Do you still have an edge? Sure, but it brings it more towards the middle.
Yeah,
because it's just the same stuff. And like, if you ever do a cool move, and you're like, oh, I got this great gotcha.
it's like
Then
I
he's
can do
like,
the same thing.
oh, I'm gonna do that. You're like, oh, I gave him the secrets. Like, I just gave him the secrets right there, and he's using them against me.
You got to do the gotcha after they activate the model. They can do the gotcha.
Oh, that could help. But yeah, no. So much is dice rolls on a mirror match. I don't like it. And I just know I'm gonna have like out of 9 games, minimum of 1. Like, odds are I might have 2.
And God forbid
Or
it be
3.
Orion.
Please don't let it be. I don't want to play Orion. I don't want that mirror match. I hope someone,
Some
plays
legionary
him.
player somewhere takes
A
down.
good Legion. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I don't know what needs to happen. I need to pray to. I don't know which chaos god I pray to for this, but someone needs to take Orion out before I play.
Pray to Nurgle and Khorne. The legionary will come
If I
in.
pray to Khorne, that might actually that's just someone's death. So that's not. Maybe Zinch.
Zine trying to kill Fellgor.
No, but maybe Zinch will change Orion's heart, and he'll realize he just wants to go back to his first love of cooking, and he'll leave to go make a frittata during the event, and they'll be like, he conceded and didn't finish the match, but we have a great frittata. I don't know his chicken tiki masala. So Orion he's a chef, and he made this chicken tiki masala at KTO. He helped cater the event. It was really good. It was like,
We're sidetracking again.
we are not. No, this is a food review channel now, and we are here to review Orion's amazing cooking because he's an amazing chef. I think some people know that.
But
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
You didn't know he was a chef?
Nope.
Yeah, he's a chef. Very good one. And chicken tikka masala is like one of my favorite dishes. He makes it the best. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good job, Orion. Please don't play me. Please don't. So, but yeah, he's really good. So, that being said, the good and bad matchups. We'll try to keep this simple. Someone here kind of sidetracks a lot, so we got to keep this on task.
I apologize for all the sidetracking I've been doing.
Yeah, you should. I'm just trying to sit here doing the food review channel as we planned. That was the goal of today, and you're just all over the place.
You, in fact, are sidetracking, trying to accuse me of sidetracking.
That's false. Anyways, so the Fellgor's good matchups. The matchups I'm looking forward to at LVO. They are good into a lot of the teams that are the meta right now. Casterkin, Novitiates, Pathfinders, I think they're good at. I know they're really good on Into the Dark. On Open, I'm still nervous.
You have super conceal, so the marker lights can't do anything.
Yeah, I've had some success, but the trouble is I don't want to get too cocky with Pathfinders because
they are tricky.
Well, and the best Pathfinder player in the world is going to be there. And actually, I don't know if Travis is an amazing Pathfinder player. There's 2 people that could be arguably the best Pathfinder players in the world. Do you know who they are?
Is John Reese one of them?
Yeah, he's the other one. So, John's on our team, and he is not bringing Pathfinders because he has a soul, and he cares about humans and people and doing the right thing.
Travis apparently does not.
Travis, we're looking at you. Yeah, you're black communist soul. Yeah, okay, we know.
Is this where we make more terrorist jokes?
No, dude, communist jokes. Communist jokes are different than terrorist jokes. They're acceptable. So, Travis is an amazing Pathfinder player. So, you can play a lot of games against Pathfinders and be like, oh, I do good in this match. But when you play the best player of that faction, or someone who's, at the top of their game in that faction, then you find out.
Maybe I don't do good in that match.
Yeah, so I think I do good into the people I've played, and I think I did pretty good on Into the Dark. But maybe Travis shows me that I've been wrong about everything in my life.
Just be too senseless.
Maybe. But a lot of the 7-8 wound body teams,
especially Eldari.
Yeah, especially Eldari.
Flatten them.
They do really well against Eldari. They don't have enough wounds. So they do well against a lot of those teams. Some of them, I think some of them I put up here, and they're a little bit theoretical. Some of these teams I haven't played against. So it's just me being arrogant and cocky for no reason at all. I feel like I do good. Some of them I've had a lot of games against, and I know really well that I do well against. So yeah, then the teams I don't do well against.
Bad matchups.
Elites. I still don't do well. I mentioned this a bunch. I don't like elites. Now, who is the elitiest of elite teams in the game?
Miska Muska.
Miska Muska.
Talons of the Emperor.
You're going to go with Miska Muska? I like that. I'm actually jealous. I wish I could with Miska Muska. Okay, Talons. Yep, so Jeshua is going to be bringing the good old Adeptus Custodes. Fellgor hate Adeptus Custodes. All the things that make elites good, they just do on steroids. They can't be stunned.
Or injured.
Yeah, they don't need to pay a CP for it either. Like, Intercession aren't stunned or injured, but they have to, like, pay for it. So, like, if you stun them, if you injure them, it's like, haha, at least you need to pay a CP every turn for the rest of the game now. Custodes are like, nah, no
cool.
stuns. Like, ever. No injury, ever. So the Toxhorn, like, he lobs things, and it just does nothing. It's just like, no.
You're looking for a 5-up to get the mortal wounds. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. They also have double parry. They have 5 attacks on 2s. On 2s.
All of it's lethal 5.
Lethal 5. So, they need crits. 5 dice, lethal 5. They get crits.
Typically.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't. But you have to throw so many of these stupid bull people, minotaurs, at these
goat people.
The minotaurs. So many of them. You'll throw a minotaur, and they can turn off crits. So your 4/5 damage goes to 4/4. You'll hit them once for 4 damage. They will double parry and just chop you up.
You trade 4 models to kill one of the 4 custodians. That's the one matchup where you take 4 big man because the goat men just bounce off of them.
See, even you said your heart knows they are bull people.
No.
But yeah, no, Custodes is an absolute brutal matchup. It's a hard counter. And like, we have some close shooting. You can take a plasma pistol on the leader, hit 4 dice on 4s.
No crits. 4-up invuln.
No crits, and then they have 4-up invulns, or if you don't make enough, they just save on 2s. Like, let's say you make 2 hits, they just block 1, guaranteed, take 5 damage. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that. So you just bounce off Custodes. It's the worst matchup for them in the game, and there's 3 Custode players. I hope the other 2 don't watch, because Jesh is in my group. And maybe if the other people watch, they won't understand how good the matchup is.
They're going to take like 10 sisters into you?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something stupid. And like, they'll give me a chance to like let my Minotaur people do something. The other one that I really don't like is Exaction Squad, RBDs. They're really good in the melee teams. They can double parry, and they fight first. And they can shoot in the melee. They have 4/4 damage. So most of their damage, you can't turn off. Well, if that's for you, you can't turn off crits. But yeah, for me, it's like, it's just enough. They break a lot of breakpoints. They get armor piercing when they shoot in the melee. They can flip engagement. So you have to like really work with this shaman to protect. It's tough. You have 1 body on them, and they have that group activation, the double group activation with the dog. RBDs are good at being able to deal with melee teams.
Yeah.
And there are some Exaction Squad in my pod. So I'm not happy about that. Those are the teams I'm worried about. I'm still happy overall with it, though. I think my spicy little bull people Minotaurs are going to do...
Goat people.
They are going to do well. They're going to make bull noises. If someone wants to look it up and tell me what noise a bull makes, I have no idea. Like, do they moo? Does a bull moo? I don't know. Because I think mooing might be more embarrassing than that goat noise. If you want to help me out with this, find out what sound a bull makes, and let me know. And hopefully it's cool. I hope they like...
I don't think it's going to be
I hope they like...
You're going to accept the goat people at that point.
No. They're going to make some cool, tough noises that are like, instill fear into the hearts of their opponents.
I think a screaming mountain goat would instill fear. Not for the right reasons, but like.
Okay, screaming mountain goats are pretty cool. I would take those. But yeah, so someone find out like a cool, tough bull. Like they've got to make tough noises, like brr. I don't know. Like I'm picturing like a bear, but that's not even the right kind of animal at all.
No.
That's they're barely both mammals. I don't even know. They are different species entirely. So I'm happy with it. I think it's going to go well enough as long as I avoid all those things I talked about. But
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for bearing with us, and I'm sorry for my son rabbit trailing all those times.
Oh my God, no.
He just, yeah.
My rabbit trailing has been getting worse lately.
I know. I'm a little concerned as his father. And we'll be back to talk to you later about why Jeshua is going to be taking Adeptus Custodes.
Talons of the Emperor.
Which no one still respects, even though someone won a big tournament with them. But no one respects them at all.
I'll make you respect them.
He's going to try. So, all right. Thank
Have
you for
faith
watching.
in your son.
I do have faith in you. I want you to do well, despite how much you mock me and sidetrack our conversations.
Good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching Killteam. We look forward to seeing you at Las Vegas Open. And hope you all have a tremendous amount of success, unless you play me. Or maybe him. But yeah. Thanks so much.